If you're going to EDC in May, here are 5 things to know about EDC based on my 2021 experience. This was my 3rd EDC and I attended the first EDC back in over a year, which was super crazy. I did do some videos on Camp EDC already that I will link down below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. I also do have vlogs of my EDC experience, as well as Emma Capotis and BB Howell also have videos on their EDC experience as well. So I'm going to point to their content as well. Otherwise, it's going to be a jam-packed video. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the overall experience. This was a brand new EDC to me. Like, it felt entirely brand new. There was new stage designs, there was new experiences and things to explore that weren't there when I went in 2018 and 2017, and it was overwhelming. I am not gonna lie, at that part it was very overwhelming being back at EDC. My boyfriend and I on Friday, honestly, we were very overwhelmed by everything and we definitely had to take some moments to just like kind of reground ourselves, and we were just moving frantically from one set to the next. And I've heard from other people that it was just very overwhelming for them. So I will say, just do what you can and go at your own pace at EDC, because it can be very overwhelming, especially if you've never been or you're going back for the first time. One thing that I forgot about EDC is how big it is. It is such a big festival. You have to factor in moving from one stage to the next. You have to factor in where bathrooms and water stations are, which there are a lot of bathrooms and water stations. You definitely have great access to those depending on where you're at. One thing that I felt like needed to be changed was during the opening ceremonies, which start at 6 o'clock, I believe. There was a 2-hour period where you couldn't get to a water station. You could get to a bathroom, but you couldn't get to the rest of the festival grounds. And they started doing opening ceremony in 2018, and I thought we were able to like go roam around, but they had it blocked off. By day 3, they definitely changed that, so that definitely helped with the experience part. Weather was actually pretty perfect. Honestly, it wasn't that cold as we thought it was going to be. It actually felt nice being bundled up at a festival compared to like, you know, sweating in just like a tiny outfit or something. But the weather really was not as bad as we thought it would be. It was super windy, so if you have a totem, definitely be prepared for that. I was swinging around like a mast on a boat, you know. My totem was just taking me everywhere, and it got kind of annoying at some points. One other thing that I really wasn't prepared for was the phone service. I have AT&T, and if you don't have Verizon, you're not going to have phone service basically the whole weekend. I had to find little pockets of service when I could, just to post to Instagram. You know, it was a nice little test for me to just like kind of put my phone away and just enjoy it, you know, not really worrying about posting. But it was definitely hard when like my friends were getting service and I just was not. But luckily my boyfriend had service, so like if anyone needed me, they could text him if they needed to. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. You might not have service, so don't even bother trying to find service. Just be in the moment and enjoy it. We did get a locker last year. I definitely recommend it, just to stow away jackets, merchandise, stuff like that if you need it. We split it with our tent, and we signed up for it in the days leading up. Definitely get it before you go to EDC, because they might sell out and they might not have any available on site. We were able to use that locker all weekend long, and it was just nice to kind of stow away things if we needed to. And then the other thing I'm going to talk about with the overall experience was the crowd. I got a lot of feedback that the crowd at EDC was not very plur. I talked about this on a recent TikTok as well, of if our crowds are changing in the scene, and I think they are, but I think there's a couple of things that attributed to it. I think for one, especially at EDC, it really just depends on what sets you're at, what part of the stage you're at. If you're super up close at like main stage, you're gonna probably run into some youngins and not very plur people. It really just depends. And also, you know, if you're going to be at more of a mainstream type artist versus a non-mainstream type artist, it really just depends on what type of crowd that artist attracts. You have to do your best just to try to control your experience. Keep being kind and spreading plur. Some people don't know what plur is, and it's kind of up to us to be spreading that message still. Some people say like, oh, they should already know if they're coming into the scene. I didn't know when I came into the scene. I had no idea what candy was, what trading was. I had no idea. So it really is on us to be able to teach the incoming ravers how to be plur and what it means to be plur and whatnot. I think also what attributed to the crowd being not so great, which I had fine crowd experiences there. I have no bad complaints, but I was mainly at, you know, the house sets, Neon Garden. I was at some base pod sets that were fine. Circuit Grounds was fine. you know, I really didn't have any bad experiences. So I was really surprised to hear that feedback. But I think about the fact that this was the first EDC back. Some people were just probably wanting to party and don't even care about EDM or raving or anything like that. Some people didn't go because they were afraid to go during a pandemic, which is totally fine. That's their choice to look after their health and whatnot. I know some people that quit raving altogether and going to festivals altogether. So I think our crowd is starting to look a little different just because things are changing. People leave the scene, people come to the scene. It's just something that's always going to happen on top of the scene becoming more mainstream. I think there's always going to be some logistical things that happen with any festival coming back for the first time. Even, you know, Coachella and Electric Forest, they're happening for the first time this year in 2 years. You know, I think there's going to be some growing pain. It's kind of what you sign up for going to a festival during a pandemic. There's staff shortages, labor shortages, resources that are short and whatnot. Second thing to know about EDC, like I said, was Camp EDC. I think this was a great move for our group and I had so much fun at Camp EDC. Like I said, I talk about it more in my other videos. However, I will say that it was worth it just alone, not having to worry about being in traffic, waiting in a line for a shuttle or an Uber, or paying a crazy amount of money for an Uber or anything like that. It was a little bit of a bummer not having the AC unit like what that was promised. We rolled with it. We opened up the windows whenever it got super hot in the tent and we kept on sleeping. The one thing I will say if you are camping at EDC is definitely pack for sleep. Pack earplugs that are made for sleeping, pack a sleep mask, pack some melatonin, and pack comfortable bedding for you so you can make sure that you get as much sleep and rest as possible. You can also save money by bringing your own food and cookware and stuff like that. I definitely recommend that because we spent a lot of money. I got 1 meal inside the festival, and then I got 1 to 2 meals outside of the festival at Camp EDC. Definitely go check out my Camp EDC Q&A and review recap video. I'll have a packing video as well coming out soon. I packed my packing for 2021, so you guys have it for 2022. And I'll have some videos on what to pack and stuff like that. I loved Camp EDC, so if you're doing it, have the best time. The pre-parties, the pool parties, the after parties, everything's just amazing. Third thing to know about my 2021 experience is what was new for 2021. Like I said, it felt like a brand new festival, but there were some new stage designs. There was some new elements to the festival. There was some new different experiences and stuff that I hadn't seen in 2018. Cosmic Meadow, I think, was the same design in 2019, but it changed from 2018. To be honest, I wasn't at Cosmic Meadow as much this year. I was only there for a little bit. I feel like they're changing up the dynamic of what that stage used to be. Because to me, I felt like it was like a very great place for like a live aspect. I don't know. I saw Porter Robinson there, Rufus Du Sol there. I've seen some house acts there. So that one's usually sponsored by Hard. So there's definitely a variety of acts that are there. After you go up to the bleachers at Cosmic Meadow during the fireworks, because my boyfriend and I did that. We weren't even planning it. We just ended up being there because we were taking a break and it was Lewis the Child and we were there for the fireworks. And it was just such a beautiful moment that him and I got to share, and it was just really cool. So I definitely recommend doing that and doing that at least one of the days for sure. Stereo Bloom was brand new. I really like Stereo Bloom. However, I think they could put it in a better spot just because it got packed out. We were there for Dr. Fresh and it was so packed that we didn't really go there the rest of the weekend, honestly, because I was just like, wow, that was way too much. Way too many people in a very condensed small space, I felt like. So I'd be interested to see where they put it because I think it should probably get moved, but that's just my opinion. Kinetic Field got a new design. I loved it. Some people were creeped out by the owl. I was a little creeped out by it, but I thought the owl was cute. I thought it was a nice touch. Base Pod was brand new. I personally still love the 2017, 2016 design of Base Pod, but still a good time. It felt a lot more spacious. During certain sets, I know it got packed out for certain sets, but the sets I was there for, I felt like they gave a lot of room for Base Pod. Circuit Grounds had a new design as well. This is one of my all-time favorite stages at EDC. I just love the way it feels around you. It's like all-encompassing. The only thing I did not like is that they moved the VIP section. It used to be on the right side if you're facing the stage, and now it was moved to the left side. It used to be so easy for us to just like pop out, go to the bathroom, get water, but what had happened is it like created this like, not a tunnel, but it created like a, what is the word I'm thinking of? Basically what had happened is it created like not a funnel, but it created a way for like people just stopped at a certain point. So we were super close for Oliver Heldens. We moved back a little bit for Slander. And then when we were leaving Slander, we were like, oh, there's so much space up here. And as we were leaving, there was just all these people. And we were like, there's so much room up there. Like, if you just keep moving past these people that just like somehow stopped, you will get in there. You know what I mean? Whereas back in 2017, 2018, you were able to just like walk basically under the stage, go to the bathrooms, get water. Whereas this way you had to like kind of walk around VIP to get to all of that. And it just created this weird, I don't want to say funnel, but it created a weird kind of funnel in that way. Other than that, that's still one of my favorite stages. We were there for Eric Prydz and the fireworks and Opus, and it was just amazing. Quantum Valley actually got moved to a different spot and had a new design. We actually didn't see any sets there, which I was pretty sad about. We were going to see Abraxas, but we were at Neon Garden seeing someone else. I can't remember. And I didn't go to Wasteland either. I walked past it, but didn't go to it. So definitely need to make that up. It was also my boyfriend's first EDC, so I was kind of just taking him wherever he wanted to go, making sure he was good too. So I think when we go in 2023, we'll definitely have more room to explore. All the art cars. So I went in 2018 and I think they had like 1 or 2 art cars, but they definitely expanded on the art cars this year. And there was like 4 or 5 of them, I'm pretty sure. All of them were really awesome. We went on the Parliament car a lot. I walked past the Ribo one. We saw the Forest one. And I'm missing another one, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think those are great. A lot of artists do surprise sets on them, or there's specialty sets on them and stuff to see. So definitely experience at least one of them and go on them, because it's pretty cool when you're on one and a set's going on. And some of the other fun little interactive things. Downtown EDC was so cool. I wish we got to go into more of the little things that they had going on there. Pixel Forest was dope. We like walked through it once and I was like, let's go back again. And we walked back through it again. I thought that was super cool. And then the drone show. The drone show was so dope. And I loved how they did it on top of the fireworks. And I don't know, it was just another nice little added moment to EDC and a part of your EDC experience. So I'm pretty sure that was my first drone show, which is really cool. All right, so the fourth thing that I want to talk about was the music. The music was, as always, amazing. You know, I feel like my music tastes have definitely changed a lot. I spent a lot of time in Neon Garden, but it was a vibe. Neon Garden was a vibe. Oh, I forgot to talk about that stage. Neon Garden, amazing. We needed a mega structure for Neon Garden and it was absolutely amazing. The production was awesome. We spent a lot of time there. Day 1, we really didn't see any full sets until the end. Only 2 full sets we saw was Alesso into 7 Lions, and those were really great. We saw the opening ceremony with Vintage Culture back-to-back Solardo, which was cool. We went to Emma's meetup, Rave Culture Cast, which if you said hi to me at that meetup or the other meetup, thank you so much for coming. Like, it was so cool getting to meet you guys. And that was the biggest meetups I've ever been a part of. So it was just dope all around. Saw Michael Beebe for the first time, which was cool. LPGOB at Stereo Bloom. And then we saw Jaws back-to-back Peekaboo and Knife Party back-to-back Keizo at Base Pod. We saw a little bit of Zoo at Cosmic Meadow. Like, we were just bouncing around a lot. And it was hard to, like, get a grip on anything, honestly. So once we got to Alesso and 7 Lions, it was great to just finally, like, relax and stay at a set. I wouldn't say like, you know, I have a favorite from either or. They were both really good sets. And then we ended up calling it an early night just because we knew we had the rest of the festival to go. Day 2, we were able to go to the pool party, and that had Adam Auburn and LPGOB. This was at Camp EDC. Those were really great sets. And then we made the opening ceremony, which was Diplo back-to-back Lee Foss. Really fun tech house little vibe. And then we saw Bellacore, Oliver Heldens with Emma, which was great. Slander we saw with BB. So it was kind of fun getting to experience all these different artists, you know, with our friends who love these artists. That's what I love doing. Seeing BB at Slander was just like the best thing ever. Saw a little bit of Dr. Fresh. That was a little bit overwhelming. Then we saw Griffin, Louis the Child, where we witnessed the fireworks. Charlotte DeWitt, Queen, Rainier Zonneveld, King. And then we ended up making it to the after party at Camp EDC. So we got to see the sunrise set. That was one thing with EDC, is that because of the time of year it was at, we didn't actually have sunrise sets unless we went to the after parties at Camp EDC. It was high-low, back-to-back Rainier Zonneveld, which high-low is Oliver Heldens. So that was a really cool, it was like very like down-tempo, soft house with the sun rising. My favorite from day 2, probably Oliver and Slander were really fun, especially having those back-to-back because it was Emma and BB's favorite. So just getting to be with them. But Charlotte DeWitt and Rainier Zonneveld was just unreal at Neon Garden. Like, I would love to go back to that 4-hour period. And Rainier Zonneveld is one of my boyfriend's all-time favorite techno artists. He builds everything live, and it's just insane. He's a good time. I definitely recommend it. Day 3 was a vibe, honestly. So we went to Artie for a little bit. Then we saw Mathame at Neon Garden into Art Bat, which they could have played the whole night long and I would have been there. We left Art Bat a little bit early, which I was a little bit sad about, but we had to go see Lane 8. This was by far one of my favorite Lane 8 sets. I was thriving the whole time. The man played Chris Lake. Lane 8 never plays other artists unless it's songs from his label, and he played Chris Lake. It's like he knew Aid was going to be in the crowd that night. Like, I started freaking out. I was like, I hear it. I'm like, he's playing Chris Lake. Oh my God, he's playing Chris Lake. And I freaked out. And I didn't take too much footage of Lane 8 set because I always try to abide by like his "this never happened" rule, where like you try and not get on your phone. But I had to film like the beginning of the set, Chris Lake moment, and like one other moment, you know, just because I needed to remember it. It was just such a good set. And then this was also perfect because Lane 8 then went into Eric Prydz. And this was my first full Eric Prydz set. And I remember turning to Emma and I was like, all right, I get it. He was incredible. He definitely takes you on a journey, and I now know why everyone loves him. The first time I saw him, I was a little baby raver. I didn't know anything better. It was 2016, I want to say. I was just looking for the trap music or the house music that's more like, you know, uppity. I was into like more of like future house, I would say, probably at the time. Eric Prydz, man, such a great set. And then the fireworks happened at the end of his set with Opus, and then that went into Rez. Yes, I saw a little bit of Rez. She actually threw down. I was pretty impressed with the set. I've seen Rez so many times that like I don't see her sets anymore because it's just kind of like the same to me. But we saw the beginning of her EDC set and it was pretty good. And then we ended up leaving because Neon Garden was calling my name, and we went to the B3B, which was Nicole Modaber, Paka Asuna, and Dubfire. That was interesting because I thought it was just Nicole the whole time because the way the lighting and the stage was, like, I could only see her with her hair. And I couldn't see Dubfire or Paco. And I was like, is it just her? But it was all three of them the whole time. So that was pretty cool. I saw like clips of their little setup, and like it's really cool what they do just to build techno sounds and whatnot. And then we ended with Patrick Topping. I could have been there the whole night, but we ended up staying for maybe 15 minutes of it, and then we called it a night. I feel like from day 3, Lane 8 and Eric Prydz were probably my top sets for sure. Art Bat would be up there, honestly. I'm going to see Art Bat at Coachella, and I'm excited for that because I will definitely see the full set for that. We're wrapping it up here. The last thing I wanted to leave you guys with is the cost. How much did EDC cost me? Give or take a little bit here. So I have a cost breakdown. So just the ticket, Camp EDC, and the flight alone, we flew Southwest, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we flew Southwest. That total was $1,000, $1,052. So the ticket was $474, Camp EDC was $324, the flight was $252. So alone, $1,000 right there. But you pay that up front, right? The rest of the stuff comes later. EDC total, $1,000. We did a Walmart order for all our Camp EDC essentials. So that divided by 4 people came out to $68 a person. I had my own personal supplies, you know, getting like stuff for my outfits or getting stuff for like my health. I don't know. Random stuff was about $100. That was like an Amazon order that I did last minute. Total right now is at $1,226 and $78. My stay in Vegas. So we went on Wednesday. We flew in on Wednesday. We stayed at the Aria, and then we drove to Camp EDC on Thursday. We flew out on Monday. So the stay at the Aria was $400 divided by 4 people. So $100 a person. We wanted to stay on the strip just to like have a day, have a night in Vegas. My boyfriend's never been to Vegas. I wanted him to be able to see other things in Vegas too. We spent some money on some lifts to some places. That was about $30. And then food and drink for that day was $113. My boyfriend and I got brunch, lunch, dinner, and then a breakfast the next day. So that's kind of the total of that. And we did a little bit of drinking here and there. So plus that night in Vegas brings our total up to $1,469. At EDC, I got braids done for Camp EDC. That was $120, which includes tip. It was $100 just for the 2 braids, and then I did a $20 tip on top of that. Food and drink at EDC. This is where it gets a little give or take. It was $383. Mind you, got a couple lemonades, maybe got 1 beatbox inside. And then at Camp EDC, I got breakfast or lunch, whatever it was, and then a meal probably after the festival, and then maybe a beatbox here or there. Just depends. My boyfriend and I also went back and forth, so that kind of includes his meals with mine as well. So could cut that in half, could not, you know. And then I spent $160 on merch. I got a hoodie for me and a hoodie for my boyfriend because it was his first EDC. So all in all, the grand total was $2,132. Now I know a lot of you are probably like, that's so much money, but hear me out. My first EDC we drove, so that saves some money there. We did a hotel split between 7 people. Probably was $100 and $125 per person, I want to say. We did the shuttle pass, which was about $100. You're still under $1,000 there. So depending on how much you drink and eat can make it $1,000 trip, right? My second EDC, I had to fly. So if I did the ticket and the flight, you know, that's around $700 right there. And then we did the parking pass, which ended up being $25 per person when we split the premier parking pass. You can drive to EDC and have it be free. We did the premier parking pass. It's just easier that way. And then our Airbnb was $50 per person. So that also was another $1,000 trip. Adding on Camp EDC with the supplies, the food, everything like that definitely adds on more to it. But I don't regret it, honestly. I loved Camp EDC. I didn't have to worry about traffic. I didn't have to worry about waiting in line. I got the most sleep. And it adds so much to your experience. So it's kind of up to you to decide what type of experience you want. To me, not that bad, honestly. If you're someone that drinks at festivals, that price can definitely go up. But we just had 1 beatbox. Having beatbox at EDC was amazing. I would just need 1 of those and I was chilling, you know? So really can't complain about any of that. I already mentioned it, but I will not be going to EDC in May this year. I will be taking a year off. I'm going to Coachella and I'm going to Electric Forest, and those are very big trips to save money up for. I will definitely be back at EDC in 2023, I feel like. It's always nice taking a break from EDC and coming back to it because there's always something new to the festival to explore. So it was really cool getting to come back because I felt like it was just a brand new experience and festival than I had been in 2018. And it honestly reignited my love for EDC. And I think the Camp EDC experience definitely helped in that part too. I'm going to do a whole separate tips video, but hopefully this gives you some insight into what to expect for EDC happening in May. I think since it happened in October, you know, that was the trial run. And I think 2022 is going to be an even better EDC for a lot of you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment it down below. Hit that subscribe button to vibe with me and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And like I said, definitely be on the lookout for some more tip videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.